Vromans. Studied in ITU from 2013 to 2015. And at the moment I'm working at Natuurlijk in the Netherlands, which is a district heating company. A beautiful company profile picture of a farmer and his cows. He has he produces biogas, which we use in a small district heating grid to provide sustainable heat to the customers of a residential area close by. Something about me, who am I? I grew up around Eindhoven, so it was a very logic choice for me to go to TUE to start my studies. I did a bachelor in mechanical engineering, and after that I wanted something else. I needed a change, and I wanted to do a study abroad. I was looking at for DTU, but unfortunately the sign-up period was already over when I made my decision to go there. So I had to do something else for a year. Worked at ASML, a big semiconductor production machines. Yeah, they just do photolithography machines to print computer chips. Very big company. The machines are very expensive. One machine is like 100 million euros. But then finally I got to DTU, sustainable energy. Always wanted to do something in energy, and yeah, thermal energy, because I love heat and flow, thermodynamics and stuff like that. After that, I did some traveling and job searching, and I found a job at Natuurlijk, district heating, back in the Netherlands. And one of our big projects where I'm involved in is Het Groene Net, the green grid in the south of the country. So what do I do right now? I'm a project engineer, calculations, engineering and design of district heating, basically ranging from the source, which is, well, this is an example of the first image, let's see, here, the biogas going into the combined heat and power plant, providing hot water to houses, cold water coming back to be heated up again, and here we have some electricity to the grid. So I'm also in the infrastructure and some parts of the customers. Here we have some district heating substation for each house. And I tried to do a bit more on innovation and optimization in our company. We're not very big, so there's not much focus on that, but we need it to grow more in the future. Something about the company: we have 150 employees. Some of them are very experienced and already work in the district heating sector for 30 years plus. Some like me that are recent graduates and full of ambitions. Our office is in Eindhoven. We have district heating grids throughout the entire country. The district heating sector is a bit differently organized than here in Denmark, but more about that. We're a privately owned company. Our shareholders are PGGM, a big pension fund in the Netherlands, and the huge French utility company of Veolia. I think you've all heard about that one. Our impact is basically 165 kilotons of CO2 reduction compared to natural gas heating in the Netherlands, which is basically the standard way of heating houses. We have over 100 grids, 80,000 customers, so we have a very big grid with more than 30,000 customers, and then a lot of smaller grids with some of them only like 100 customers. Yeah. How does the Netherlands do in their sustainability goals? You see, we heard something about Sweden. Denmark is probably well known. We're up here, down there. We suck. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to do. This is the way we heat our houses. About 93% natural gas. This is 2013. Right now it's district heating is up to 6%, and natural gas is down to 90%, so it's still a lot of stuff to do. This is the biggest source of our heat. The dark green is land area, light green is the gas field underneath the land area. The triangles are measuring stations, and all the spheres, they're earthquakes. Earthquakes because of natural gas and resulting in cracks in houses and support, and basically the entire north of the Netherlands wants to move away from there because of the earthquakes. Sad thing, but also a good thing, because that really fueled the political discussion to move away from natural gas. Yeah, as you saw, the governmental plan is to have 14% renewable energy soon, but we're not going to make it. Instead, they made a second goal, 2023, 16%, a bit more, but not super ambitious, but it seems like we're going to make it. Right now, we have over 7 million households connected to the natural gas grid, which explains the 90%. But recently, there was a new policy. It always used to be that all new houses have the right to a natural gas grid connection. Now, the gas companies can say, we're not going to connect you, you should find a different way to heat your house. That was a big breakthrough now, because now all the project developers have to be creative and think about how to sustainably heat houses and stuff like that. And all the municipalities, they have now the task to form that transition. Because also the existing houses have to change from natural gas to sustainable heat sources. The municipalities have to make a plan for that for each neighborhood. So that's a big task. They have to be ready in 2021. So if anyone is a consultant in district heating, here's your market. The required speed of transition, we want to be fully moved away from natural gas by 2050. That means, 18,000 houses per month. Yeah, that's the energy transition in practice. Alternatives for the natural gas, not only district heating, also all electric, for example, heat pumps, biogas, so we can use the existing infrastructure, biomass, wood pellets, stuff like that, but it generates a lot of smoke, so it's maybe not the best option in residential areas. Some standalone off-grid solutions with solar, thermal, and huge buffers. But you need space for that, and we're a small country with a lot of people. This is how it looks like. Well, one of the projects I work on in the existing areas. Well, narrow streets, big pipes, and a lot of underground infrastructure to go under and in between. So yeah, it's a challenge. This is how, all the equipment you need to make some, to make a district heating system. It's for new areas, it's quite easy because you just have a field that is being redeveloped into a housing area and everything is easy. There's nothing, no infrastructure there. There's no roads to break open, no people that can't leave their house for a few weeks. But yeah, in residential areas, it looks like this. And probably half of our country will look like this for the next 30 years. Yeah, unfortunately, Denmark right now has 60% of the houses connected to district heating. They're a bit ahead of us, and they already made well-thought decisions when planning areas. Our decisions were also well thought of, but very short term, because our government made a lot of money on the natural gas, but now we're getting to the downsides. Some of the pros and cons are district heating regards to the transition. For district heating, you only have to adapt a limited amount of plants. It's a kind of centralized way of providing heat, so if you improve the sustainability of one plant, you've already made 10,000 houses more sustainable. It's useful for older houses. The big challenge with heat pumps right now in the Netherlands is older houses have they require high temperatures for heating, and heat pumps aren't very efficient for that. Maybe Matteo doesn't agree, but we'll see about that in a bit. It's quite scalable, and right now there are various subsidies on all sustainable heat sources. And I'm connected to district heating myself, and I think it's quite comfortable, and also a relief that I don't have the flammable gas in my apartment. But yeah, it's quite, the infrastructure is complex, big, expensive, and in residential areas there's a big impact on the people living close by. So those are a bit the downsides. And in our country, with only 6% connected to district heating, there's not very much knowledge and expertise on district heating, especially in converting 7 million households. So what are the sustainable sources we have now in our company? For example, we use waste heat from sewage water treatment plants. We use hot cold storage underground in aquifers, combined with electrical heat pumps, and then gas boilers to increase the temperature just a bit. For the future, we're really looking at geothermal. The potential for geothermal is very big in the Netherlands, but it's costly. We're looking at solar heating, but we don't have a lot of space. We do have a lot of rivers and lakes, so surface water combined with heat pumps is a good option. Right now, our biggest grids are fueled by industry, waste heat, so that's also a fairly sustainable source of heating. Yeah, if there are any questions, you can ask them now or contact me here. That was my presentation. Thank you.
I've got the mic. Can I ask you, when you are establishing district heating now, are you establishing district cooling at the same time, or how does that work?
We have a few cooling grids, but in general, it's not very common. No, we see it. There's an increasing potential, partly because of climate change. The country is getting more sunny, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but in summer it has an impact on houses. We tend to have very big windows, and when the sun hits the windows, it gets very hot inside. So yes, the demand for cooling will increase, and yeah, it will open up some potential for district cooling as well. Right now, it's not very feasible yet. Yeah, I think you were first.
So first of all, I would like to hear a bit about your motivation for going to Denmark, and now you're working with district heating. Was it an advantage to come from a country with a lot of district heating and then apply for a job?
Definitely. In my first job interview, they told me like it's a very big plus you studied in Denmark because that's like the mecca of district heating. And I was like, yeah, thank you, but there was a course called Sustainable District Heating, and I kind of regret I didn't take it. But yeah, at least in some other courses I got some information about district heating, and that was already more than anyone in the Netherlands would get.
And can I have another question? So, moving away from natural gas, which took up quite a share of your energy consumption. what about hydrogen and hydrogen grids, etc.? Because you were actually having it stated on the text, but you didn't mention that.
Sorry?
You didn't mention hydrogen.
Yeah. The natural gas companies are really pushing hydrogen, the development of hydrogen. But personally, I don't think it's a very great way of heating houses. If you make it through electrolysis, because first you have electricity, you convert it into hydrogen, you lose some efficiency, and then you convert the hydrogen into heat. Maybe you'll be 80% efficient if you're lucky, while using electricity through heat pumps is very much more efficient with regards to heating. So I think hydrogen would be a better fuel source for transport and for maybe balancing the system rather than for heating.
Right. It's on? Yeah, it's on. Oh, quick question towards the temperatures. You mentioned you need quite high temperatures in the buildings in Netherlands. How is that different from Denmark? Is it because you don't have the isolation of the buildings, or why do you need higher temperatures than we see elsewhere?
Well, it's mainly for existing buildings. They're not very known with the Danish houses, but in Netherlands, houses from the 60s and older, they're not very well isolated. They have like cracks in the walls and stuff like that. And yeah, it's very difficult to keep them warm in winter with just low temperature heating systems inside the buildings. Also, because of Legionella prevention, we have stricter guidelines than here in Denmark. Which means that the district heating system has to be minimum 70 degrees for domestic hot water production. And that's also a bit of our challenges. Like, we're trying to find different ways to prevent Legionella in domestic hot water systems, just to be able to reduce our temperatures and have a bit more efficiency. Yeah.
And just a question for the market part, you said that you'll elaborate a bit upon it. How do you see, because here in Denmark we don't have a liberalized heating market, it seems like you do in Netherlands, and can you give some pros and cons on the two different ways of organizing a district heating market?
Well, the pros, I think, are the financial power of our shareholders, that we can make investments easier than municipalities in our countries. The downside is that it's basically energy planning on a local level, and if you do it as a private company, you don't have the impact you maybe want on the local policies. So yeah, that's a challenge. The project at Groene Net I mentioned in the beginning, in that project where my company is working together with the municipality in a joint venture, basically to tackle that challenge. The municipality doesn't have a lot of money to invest, and by collaborating we have a bit more cooperation towards the policies and the energy planning in the municipality. So yeah, there are pros and cons for both situations, and I think especially regarding the big challenge we have in our country, a bit more regulation on a national level and on a local level would be helpful. But the municipalities don't have the money to fund the big transition and all the works that need to be done.
And if I can just make a follow-up, but you're not forcing the consumers into a district heating grid. They are
no. We have to actively. Yeah, we have to actively find customers. there are some projects being set up by the municipality to say, okay, this neighborhood will be disconnected from the gas grid in 2 years from now, and we're helping you to develop the district heating grid there. But in general, we just have to find our commercial customers. Usually that's housing companies, project developers, not much in existing buildings yet. So that's the biggest challenge.
Last two questions, Jasper and then Michiel, maybe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was wondering, this looked like there's a lot of focus on decentralized solution. Is something going on regarding large-scale combined heat and power?
Yeah, we combined heat and power. We have some small-scale combined heat and power fueled by natural gas. We're using our biggest district heating grid uses waste heat from coal-fired power plant owned by German utility company E.ON. RWE. They are converting the coal-fired power plant to biomass, which is also a massive project. And we have some other biogas, combined heat and power, biomass, biogas. But in general, fossil fueled CHP is not very useful anymore because the requirements for sustainable heating of houses are going up, and using, for example, natural gas CHPs will have a negative impact on the sustainability in the electricity grid because of the upcoming wind projects.